Welcome, friends. Should you play Lineage 2 in 2021? Short answer is probably not. However, if you're an old school player like me and you have all kinds of nostalgia traits about the game that you played way back in the day, it might be something you might want to consider. Stay tuned for the rest of the video to see the full assessment. Character creation. So when you first log in, you'll be asked to create a character. You'll be met with this screen. Lineage 2 has been around since 2004. It is a game that is 17 years old and has been in multiple countries. It's most popular in Korea, in Russia, North America, and Europe. There's a fair amount of people playing all over the world on various servers, private and public, that the game has really had a very long time to mature. And for all intensive purposes, it's really a pretty good game, despite some of its gross pay-to-win schemes and things like that. It is really fun to play, and if you have played this game in the past, it might be something you might want to consider playing again. So, character creation. You come here and just click create when you first log in. You have the ability to choose from 7 new classes. Or not new, but they've been around for a very long time. Humans, elves, dark elves, orcs, dwarfs, my favorite, Camels, and Ethereas. And I believe in maybe later this year, there's going to be a 4th one coming up called a Sylph. I think that's how you pronounce it. I can't remember exactly, but I think it's coming later this year. So this might come after the video's released, but be aware that there could be a 8th one coming, which I believe is similar to the Ethereas, but I'm not quite sure. You also have the ability to change gender, except for the Ethereas. They are gender locked to female, but all of the other classes give you the ability to choose a male or a female, even the dwarves. I personally like the female dwarves because I think they're super cute. Okay, for most of the classes, they all give you a warrior class or a wizard class, with the exception of the dwarves, and I think that's it. And the Camels. You only have warrior for either one of those. You can change various face types, and you can change various hairdos, all kinds of different ones, and various styles as well. If you click on the class path, it gives you the ability to look through how you would progress through the class. So if you chose a dwarven warrior to begin with, or a fighter, you could come here and either be a scavenger or a bounty hunter. I'm sorry, a scavenger or an artisan, and kind of go down the different classes. And every single one has something different, and as you click on them, they'll give you all of the things. If you highlight over any one of these, it will give you the ability to get a more detailed description of what you would be doing. So if you were like, oh, destroyer, that sounds super cool. A melee damage dealer, destroyer specialize in the use of two-handed swords and wear heavy or light armors. They can deliver powerful blows, though their sheer strength. So that's pretty cool. You have all these other options. Depending on whatever class you have, they may have more or less hairstyles or more or less colors. They're all kind of different. You do have the ability for most classes to either go warrior or wizard, similar to any other MMO that's out there. And you have a healing path and more of a DPS type of path when you choose the wizard type of class. And if you go fighter, you have more of a rogue type of character, or like archers and daggers, or you also have buffers and healers type of situation. After you've chosen your particular path and you've clicked all your settings that you would like, whatever you would pick, you go ahead and put your character name in, and then you'd click create. Combat. In Lineage 2, the game is old school, so the idea behind this game is more of the idea for using skills on your hotbar and things like that. You can set your hotbar up But a majority of the game and the farming aspects of the game are more of using a macro and auto farming. So you have the ability to create macros, and in your macros from the menu here, you can take your skills, not your inventory, your skills menu, and move your skills over to here and create a macro for yourself. You can put that macro on your bar and right click. Now there's also this auto targeting and next feature. It gives you the ability to change from short distance or long distance, and then also to change to the type of comment. So I run my macro, which is all my skills, and then I also run my auto hunting macro together. So this gives you kind of the best of both worlds. The difference with this game over many others is they've kind of tailored it towards more of the mobile market with their Lineage 2 Revolution game that's on their mobile, where they have this auto hunting and auto leveling, so to speak. So you kind of set your thing up and kind of walk away as you do your thing. Now, the difference is when you do PvP. So in PvP, using your macros is not ideal. You're going to want to turn all this stuff off and use your skills as you would. The other wonderful thing about combat is that you have the ability to upgrade and enchant your skills as well. So you can come to your enchant menu, and you can click any one of these and you can enchant them. And it gives you options. So you can be very granular with how you decide you want to build your character. So if you want to be extremely defensive, you would decrease speed or increase chances. This gives you more skill power depending on the skill that you pick. And some of them will give you different things as well. This one gives you minus 1% physical defense. So, and you can level these all up to level 30. So this is a skill level 12. However, I can enchant it to level 30. So there's a lot to do. It costs a lot of money, but as you kind of progress, you can level these up and get further and further into the game. The PvP and the way to play the game is similar to other MMOs, where you have a skill bar and you click on your skills and you can use all your hotkeys as you set for whatever you would like. So if we were to turn off all of our macros, nothing would run here. We would just pretty much pick, the click on the target and run our skills. We would hit things as we need to. So it's pretty easy. Click on target and hit it with your skills. Very simple. You can set up various bars. You have the ability to change your bars and add more. You can also flip this sideways or up and down. You can also move it wherever you want on the screen, whatever fits best for you. Anything that you also want to run automatically, you have the ability to right click and you will turn on the macro and it will just continue to run. Anything that has this little gear icon, it means it's a repeating icon, so you can turn this stuff on and off as needed. So anything that has this little sheen that's going over it means it's on and it is running all the time. So when it runs through, it will turn its on and it will go through when it needs to. So it cycles on and off. A majority of the game is actually auto farming at this point, unless you're getting into PvP and doing some of the things inside of instances and such. That's the times when you'd be actually live playing. Most of the other time you're kind of setting up your macro and you're just monitoring it and coming back and walking away. Storyline and lore. When you first start the game, you'll be a brand new level 1 character, and you'll be met next to the growth helper, Tarty. If you click on her, she'll give you a quest, and she'll usually have an icon over her head to indicate that you need to talk to her, and she'll go through all these different things and quests. So there is quite a bit of storyline that's involved in the game. Any of the NPCs that you talk to will have various things to talk to and give you information about the game. A lot of the lore is kind of in the background. The game kind of skips over a lot of it. You feel free to read through it as you level up and go through your questing. As a new player, it kind of rushes you from level 1 to 85 very quickly, so they don't give you a lot of lore. They do, but it's really condensed down, and some of the other NPCs you'll have to talk to about getting different things, but a lot of the lore is kind of missing from the game, at least on the surface level. Now, there are lore videos out there. I've done a few myself. I'll link them here. There'll be a card up in the upper right-hand corner for you. I do plan on doing more. A lot of the lore is kind of in the background in the beginning years of the game. There is some lore that kind of comes with the game further on, but I haven't personally saw a lot of it, and I know that it's out there, and perhaps some of the many of you may be able to find some of the lore out there that I'm unaware of. And if you can, please point me to it, because I'd love to get into it and do more of the lore. But I'll put some links down in the description that you can read and do more about the lore in the game. Right now, trying to learn anything about the game from at least like NPC standpoint, you can click on them and you can learn from them, but it doesn't give you a ton of information. It's usually more of, it kind of gives you some idea of what's going on in the specific area, and then it gives you whatever you need to do to kind of go through. So you can kind of read through some of these things and learn about all of it. There is a great deal of lore to learn from inside of the game, not so much, but it's more of from outside the game on some of the lore sites that you'll find. I'm sure it's been in the game and it's been out of the game. It's kind of come and go as the years have gone by, in and out. So there is a very long story associated with it. Being able to find all that information in the game is very difficult. So there's more links down in the description for you to take a look at to find more lore. And if you come across more lore sites, please do let me know, and I'd be happy to talk about them and express them to everybody so we can learn more about the lore of the game, because there is a lot of cool storyline behind this game. The world. The world map is huge. It's very large, and if you look, we have a massive area to cover. Everything from Dwarven Village, and there's a lot of starting towns such as Orc Village, and one of my favorite places is the Ivory Tower. There's so many places to discover and learn in this game. It's very large map. Unfortunately, with that being said, there's a lot of this map that goes kind of untouched at this point. A lot of what used to be very vibrant places, such as the town of Dion or Gluten Village, they're kind of non-existent. Nobody goes to them. They aren't really used. The game has progressed in a way to kind of push people to certain areas, and that's where everybody kind of levels, and that's just where they stay. I would say a good majority of this portion of the map is not even used anymore. The Wasteland still is, because it's a level 117 area, but as you can see, like, these are all like level 20, 76 to 84. You get to 85 in 10 minutes, or in 40 minutes you can go from 0 to 85, and then all of this stuff is useless. It's fun to explore, and you can see the towns, and they're really nice. For instance, we can teleport to any of them. So we're in the town of Gluten right now, which is a beautiful town. It's really nice. But some of the towns that are behind this, so if we go to I'll say town of Dion, this is one of my favorite places in the game. The world is massive. I wish NCSoft would go through and revamp some of these areas that are older, that nobody uses anymore, and make them useful again, because there's a lot of cool leveling that you could do outside of these places if they were just to upgrade or change the mob types and the levels. And this is one of the best songs in the game. It's so peaceful, it's super chill. I love it. It's amazing, right? So yeah, I mean, there's like these mobs out here. They're like level 1 or whatever, but like level 20. You could really revamp this area and put a whole bunch of mobs out here, and then have people like leveling there. I'm sorry, I'm going through my whole cycle of all of my buffs. But yeah, the world is really massive. There's a lot to cover, and if you look, there's really pretty large maps that you can take a look at. But there's many places to explore and experience the game. There's a lot of neat stuff in the map. You could spend hours just exploring the map and not be bored. There's so many places to explore. I just wish that NCSoft would spend a little bit more time on revamping some of these early areas or these starting village areas to be able to be somewhat useful for characters and be able to have us explore them again, which would be really nice. Dungeons and instances. So in the world of Lineage 2, there are various amounts of dungeons and instances that you can take a look at and enjoy. So in the town of Aden, you have the ability to come here and you have the Allied Instant Zone Manager. Here's one that you can do. Now, this requires you to be in a party. You can fight Taudi, Frinteza, Octavius, and Antharis. That is one place. These are very difficult, and they require, as you can see, many members to do. There are other instances that are a little bit more available for people that are lower level. So we have Baylor and Kamaluka and the Ashen Shadow Revolutionaries and Croffin's Nest. And those are all good at 105. So 2 or more people. And then there's also 110 and above, it looks like. So they have added more. Now, before I'd played this game, they only had the 1. Now they've made it a little bit harder. So you have Baylor, and then Kamaluka and Ashen Shadows, but instead of Croffin's Nest, you also have the Forest of Spirits. I have not personally done that one, so that might be kind of interesting to take a look at. And then there is another one, which is solo instance. So you have the ability to go into your own. You can do all the various levels, and we're going to go do level 105 right now. So I'll give you an idea of what it looks like to kind of roll through an instance or a dungeon. All right. Probably should have been a little bit more prepared by having all of my buffs ready, but as you can see, they come at you. It's just like any other type of game that you'd be playing. You kill all the stuff in an instance. We killed everything, and now stage 2 is going to come, so on and so forth, till eventually you get to a boss battle, which I will run through very shortly here. Let's go through all of this. We'll kill all these guys. So the stages are the same. More and more guys come. You kill them as they come, and then we'll get to the end, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, when you reach stage 7, you'll get more mobs, and then you'll get a boss to fight, the Lord of Castilla, Clava. I usually go through and kill all of the things, and then kill him. It takes about 10-15 minutes or so to do the whole instance. It's not too long. I think this took me maybe about 5. So depending on the gear and the level, whatever you do, you can do it very quickly. It could take you a little bit of time. I believe there is a time limit. I don't remember or know exactly what the hard time limit is for some of these, but there are limits on some of them. So be aware of that when you are playing. But this is what an instance looks like. It's pretty fun. They're pretty cool to do. There we go. So yeah, not too difficult. They're not hard. If you have lesser gear or you're new, it might be a little difficult to get through some of these, but they have them at level 100 and 105 and 110, so you can do the various different ones. And as you go up and do the harder ones, you will get more rewards. So we'll get through and kill this guy, and then we'll see what the rewards are, which are decent rewards. I think you get even more. I believe there's even a 120. I've never been up that high, so I can't really speak to what those are, but I hear that they're very, very difficult. And you have to be really, really stacked to be able to go through them. I've tried the 110, and I can't do it. And I tried the 110 when I was actually 110 myself, and I still couldn't do it. So it was pretty hard. So they do get very, very difficult as you progress. So, all right, we're almost done killing this guy, and then we'll get an idea of what kind of rewards we get. A couple more hits, and we should be down.
Congratulations.
There we go.
Your raid was successful.
Cool. Talk to the researcher and let me out. There we go. So now that we're done with that, we talk to the zone instance manager, and we can It automatically gives it to you. All right, there we go. I believe there was rewards. I couldn't remember. Does it show? Oh, you get a Castilla's box level 2. Where's that? Right here. So we'll open that up. You get some Freya's Roses, which add a whole bunch of stats. You get some Dragon Tonics and some Honey Beer. Pretty nice stuff for doing the 105. And it, as you can see, it didn't take us very long. So yes, there's many dungeons and instances. It's pretty nice. Crafting. So in this game, there is crafters. Or there are crafters. It is few and far between that people use them anymore. Reason being, if you go to, I want to craft an item, there's only one class that gives you the ability to craft an item, which is a maestro, which is me. So from there, you have skills to be able to use. Where are they? So you have a common craft and a dwarven craft. I don't have any recipes because I've only just started. And there's also a common craft, which everybody can use. So most people can craft like spirit shots and things like that. The crafting mechanic is pretty simple. It's gather the items. I have them and just click create. And now we've made 500 R grade soul shots. It's the same with anything. Gather the items and put them together. And then you can craft what you want. Now, there will be the only people that can really craft anything are dwarves, and the only idea to craft anything would be for the R110 gear. I can't really speak to much of the crafting because it's kind of a dead thing. I don't think many people do it. You either started as a crafter and you just stayed a crafter and now you can craft all the things, or there's really no point to go do it now. I mean, I guess one could theoretically raise a crafter and do all the things, but it's extremely difficult to make any items in the game. So if you get to the point where you can actually craft things, or you have the recipes to do so, it's extremely difficult to collect all the items that you need to actually do the crafting itself. So it's almost not even worth it. So crafting is kind of a wash for me. I don't believe it's really all that feasible. Any crafters that are out there that actually do craft in the normal retail game, please do let me know and leave some comments down below and let me know how it is. If it's good or bad, or if you find any value in it. Maybe if you really put a lot of time and effort into it, it becomes really feasible. Maybe it doesn't. I'm not quite sure. I just know that it's kind of dead for most of the characters. So it's not something that most people are going to want to invest a lot of time into. Assessment time. So the idea is it worth playing Lineage 2 in... Oh, my things all got moved around here. Okay, let me move them back to where they were. Sorry, my apologies. Is it worth playing Lineage 2 in 2021? Yes and no. For some people, it's kind of something that we love playing the game, and we're going to continue to play the game, and that's just how we are. We're old school players. We love the game so much that we're just going to continue to play, whether it's because of nostalgia or it's just there's something in us because we've played this game for so long that we just can't get away from it. It's either that or a combination of other things. I like the PvP. It's really good. It's hard. And there's really good players that have really good gear that are very tough to beat. So that's a thing. Castle sieges are insane and really tough. I mean, mass PvP in this game is really, really fun to do, just period. So there's nothing else like it. There's no other game that has come close to talking about it, in my opinion. Now, with that being said, to be able to compete in PvP in this game, you need a ridiculous amount of money to play it. Though it is a free-to-play game, it is very expensive to gain items. To gain items in this game, it costs a lot of money. You have to participate in events. You have to spend money in events. In the L2 store, you have to sell the stuff in the L2 store out to the market. You have to buy and sell. You have to really play the economy and put a lot of money into Ncoin to sell and rinse and repeat to buy some of the items. Reason being, in the store, some of these items cost billions and billions of Adina. And just to give you a reference here, I have 15 billion Adina right now, and most of this was from when I played before. I have items to sell. This particular Krishna, this bloody Krishna slasher, is like 80 to 90 billion. And it's not easy to get Adina, as you can see when I kill things here. You know, I don't even get Adina. So, I mean, I get some, 11,000. And it's not even per kill. It's every, like, other kill or every 2 or 3 kills. So, it's really difficult to get money in this game. And it's not by farming. When you get higher level and you get to the place where you can be doing special instance zones, I should have probably mentioned this in the instances section, but there is a timed instance area based on level that you can also participate in. When you start farming some of these places, you can make some decent Adina. So Storm Isle and Imperial Tomb, not so much Imperial Tomb, but you can get decent XP from there. But Isle of Souls, Primeval Isle, and Storm Isle, these are all worth taking a look at, and some people are really making quite a bit of money inside of the Tower of Insolence. I haven't checked out the Otherworldly Atelier Refinery or the Field of Crisis, so those are new places to me, but it is very, very difficult to gain Adina in this game. As a free-to-play player, you can play this game indefinitely as a free player, and you're just going to spend a lot of time to progress. It takes a long time to progress from, you know, level 100 through up to 110, and it's going to take you a lot of time if you're not paying. If you do decide to pay, I do have recommendations. I'm going to do another video on that, but there's a few things that you kind of almost need no matter what. You need the Destiny pack, which gives you XP rune. That helps out quite a bit. And a SP rune, which is your skill point rune. You also can get the Prestige pack, which is another cost, which gives you an Adina drop rate, and it helps you gain more faster. And then the other thing is the rare accessory pack, is getting these items to help you level up as well. And that all comes at a cost, a monthly cost of, you know, $45 to $60 a month. I don't know if that's something that somebody might want to consider doing, but that's the bare minimum that you need to start playing the game if you want to progress in a timely fashion. If you're okay spending a lot of time leveling up without paying, it's going to take you very, very long. But it can be done. It's just you have to be extremely patient and extremely diligent to be logging in every day, letting your character auto hunt, rinse and repeat for months on end, hoping to get the next item. So my assessment is, for a lot of people, this game is not going to be worth playing. For hardcore people that have been playing this game since its inception back in 2004, a lot of this can't walk away from the game. We love it so much, we're just going to continue to play. So if you're one of those types of people, this might be the game for you. If you're a brand new player coming in, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. It's going to be an extremely difficult game for you to get into. If you're willing to dump a lot of money into it, you could be very successful very quickly. So with that being said, my assessment is only play it if you've got a deep wallet. Alright friends, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope I covered everything that I can. I know there's a ton of stuff that's outside of this game that I didn't really cover in the game. There's politics, there's castle sieges, there's things like that. There's a lot of other things that are involved in the game that make it pretty good. But unless you kind of grew up playing this game or you played this game for a really long time, it's probably not going to be for you. So I hope you enjoyed this assessment. Please leave your comments down below. I'd love to know what they are. If any of you are crafters and know anything about crafting, please do let me know. And I'd love any information about storylines and lore that you might have. Please leave me links and I'd be happy to share them with everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care and be well.